And before we go into the chapter, let me walk you through the site how to access the revision notes and the test series. When you go to classics.com and click on practice, we are having different packages available here. But and if you go to need premium, you are having at the top is the revision notes. If you click on revision notes, it opens in a new tab. And here you are having the subject wise test. For each subject you will have chapter wise test. And let us start the chapter today, that is our chemical kinetics. When we say chemical kinetics, what is chemical kinetics? So immediately the things should come in our mind is the branch of chemistry which is going to deal with the study of reaction rate and their mechanism. When the place where we study about the reaction rate and their mechanism, we say it as chemical kinetics. So when we say chemical kinetics, it is the stream that is going to govern or completely it is going to focus on the rate of reaction along with their mechanism. So when we say rate of reaction, we are having, so what is reaction? Reaction is nothing but the combination of two or more reactants in order to produce a product. That is what we call it as a reaction. And reaction can be of two different types. One we can say it as elementary reaction and the other one as your complex reaction. When we say elementary, the reaction or that is going to occur in a single step. The reaction that occurs in a single step to give us the product, we call that as elementary reaction. And when we come to complex reaction, the reaction that occurs as a result of sequence of elementary step or your elementary reaction in order to form the product, we are going to call that as a complex reaction. So here chemical kinetics, we say rate of a reaction. What is rate of a reaction? So rate of reaction says that the rate at which the concentration of your reactant or product that is going to participate in a chemical reaction changes or it alters. The rate at which the concentration of your reactant or product which is taking place in the chemical reaction changes or alters. So we can say rate of reaction is nothing but change in concentration divided by time. Change in concentration divided by time. So from this we could conclude that your rate is directly proportional to the concentration of your participating reactant. It is going to be directly impacted. So we say the rate of reaction can be defined as the change in concentration of a reactant or product in the given specified time, or we say in the unit time. And we are saying that as the concentration of your reactant increases, the number of reactant particles per unit time will also increase, and hence this will increase the chances of your collision. And if there is a chances of increasing in collision, the reaction rate will also increase. So when we say rate of reaction increases with increase of temperature, and mostly we can say reaction rate will double with rise of 10 degree Celsius or your temperature. So when we say rate is directly proportional to the concentration of your participating reaction, then there should be some factors which is affecting the rate of our reaction. The rate of reaction can be affected by certain factors. And first one we say that it is nature of reactant. What do we mean by saying nature of reactant? Here, nature of bonding in the reactant will help you in determining the rate of your reaction. For example, we can say the ionic compounds. They will react faster compared to the covalent compounds because the requirement of energy in covalent compounds to cleave the existing bond, it will be simpler. So we could see that what type of reactant we are considering. Based on it, our rate of reaction will depend. And second, we say temperature. Rate of reaction, it increases with increase in your average kinetic energy, which will increase the number of molecules that is having greater energy, and consequently we can say the number of collisions, effective collisions, it increase. So we say that there is a change when we say talk about the temperature. So rate of the reaction will increase with the temperature. And then yes, of course, the reaction rate is being doubled. That is, you can say there is an increase of 100% with 10-degree rise in temperature. And the next factor we say is pressure. Increase in your partial pressure will increase the number of collision. Therefore, the rate of reaction involving your gaseous reactant will increase with the increase in your partial pressure. And yes, one important factor, that is your catalyst. A catalyst will increase the rate of reaction by giving an alternative path with lower activation energy for the reaction to proceed. For the reaction to proceed. So immediately we say catalyst will generally increase the rate of reaction without undergoing in or any change in the reaction, and it will also help in attaining equilibrium quickly without disturbing the equilibrium state in a reversible reaction, without disturbing the equilibrium state in a reversible reaction. So we can say catalyst is generally increasing the rate of reaction, but they will not take part in the reaction. And the next factor is concentration of the reactant. Of course, if we increase the concentration, that will increase the number of collision and activated collision between your reactant molecule. And when we talk about collision theory, we say that rate is directly proportional to your collision frequency. So we can say rate of reaction will increase if there is a rise in the concentration of the reactant. And the last one we say as surface area. The rate of a reaction will increase with the increase in surface area of your solid reactant. There will be an increase in reaction rate if there is an increase in you are having. So, and the next factor we can say is your average rate or average rate of a reaction. The average rate of a reaction is nothing but the ratio of change in concentration of the reactants to the change in time. And this is basically determined by the change in concentration of your reactant or product as the time taken for change. So when we say as the reaction is going to proceed forward, the collision between your molecules of the participating reactant will reduce by decreasing the average rate of the reaction. Hence, if we try to conclude, we could say that average rate is equal to your change in concentration divided by your time. Change in concentration divided by time. And when we are saying what is instantaneous rate of a reaction, that is the ratio of change in concentration in any chemical reaction with respect to time period. With respect to time period, we have a term that is called as instantaneous rate of a reaction. And the most important part of this chapter, we say that it is what is rate expression. The most important. So the representation of a rate of a reaction, if you try to do in terms of the concentration of the reactant, in terms of the concentration of the reactant, we call that as rate equation or rate expression. For example, if we take this reaction, NO plus O2 is going to give us NO2. So when we try to express express this reaction in form of rate, we say that it is K into your NO and O2. Since you are having 2, it goes as power. And this is the format we are using in order to express the rate of a reaction. And next, when we talk about it is our order of a reaction. What is order of a reaction? Immediately when we say the addition of power of the concentration of the reactant in a rate law, that is the addition of power of the concentration of a reactant in a rate law will help us to find out the order of a reaction. And that order of a reaction can be of different types. For example, we can say zero order reaction, first order reaction, second order reaction. So how do we categorize the zero order reaction? Suppose if we say if the rate of a reaction is going to be independent of the concentration of the reactant, it is going to be independent of the concentration of the reactant which is taking part in the reaction, or we can say participating in the reaction, then that particular reaction we give the name as zero order reaction or zeroth order reaction. The reaction which is going to be independent of the concentration of your reactant. And when we say first order reaction, of course, that is going to depend, if the rate of the reaction is going to depend on the concentration of a single reactant that is participating in the chemical reaction. So we say raised to the first power, then we call that as our first order reaction. We give the name as first order reaction. In the similar way, we can have even second order reaction. That is, if the order is going to be equal to 2. If the order is equal to 2, we say that it is a second order reaction. And we are having what is pseudo order. What is a pseudo order reaction? It is a different representation. When we say that, when we look at a reaction, that reaction appears to be, for example, we can say nth order, but it will be belonging to some other order. That is, if I say, for example, a reaction is appearing to be first order reaction, but actually it would be belonging to a second order reaction. So in that scenario, a reaction, a order is given as name as pseudo order reaction. We say the name as pseudo order reaction. That is, a pseudo first order reaction is a chemical reaction between two reactants that is participating in a chemical reaction. So accordingly, we can say that it should be a second order reaction, but actually it would have been belonging to a first order. That is why we say that it is a pseudo order reaction. The name given to such type of reaction is called as pseudo order reaction. And next we have what is molecularity. When we say molecularity, what is not molecularity? So when we are saying molecularity, that is nothing but here we have to talk about your, as you know, molecules we need in order to collide, to bring about a chemical reaction. But the number of molecules which is participating in a chemical reaction that is going to collide will bring about a change, or we can say that will bring about the chemical reaction. Hence that term we say it as your molecularity of a reaction. So when we say the number of your reacting species that is taking part in the chemical reaction which must collide simultaneously in order to bring about a chemical reaction or bring about a change in your chemical reaction, we say that it is a molecularity of a reaction. So total number of reacting species, that can be an atom, that can be an ion, or that can be a molecule. And basically always we say what is a catalyst. A catalyst is a substance which will speed up the reaction, but it itself will not take part in the reaction. That itself does not take part in the reaction. And the next most important factor is our rate law. The rate law or rate equation for a chemical reaction is an equation that will link the reaction rate with the concentration or pressure of the reactant and constant parameters. So when we say rate law, it is nothing but we said that it is a representation of rate of reactant in terms of our molar concentration of the reactant, and that we are raising it to some power. And it is sometimes also called as rate expression or rate equation. It is sometimes also called as your rate expression or rate equation. And next is your half-life reaction. What we say it as our half-life reaction. The time which is being used or the time which is being elapsed in reduction of the concentration of the reactant to one half of its original concentration. To one half of its original concentration, we call that as half-life, and it is always represented as T half. It is always represented as T half. And there are certain formulas. Suppose if I say half-life of a first order reaction, it is T half. It is T half is equal to 0.693 divided by your K1 or as the notation. In the same way, for different orders, we will have different formula. And when we are saying half life, and the next one should be your what is the rate determining step, which step will help you to determine the rate. So do remember, the slowest step during a chemical reaction will help you to determine the overall speed of the reaction. That will help us to determine the overall speed of the reaction towards completion. That one we call it as a rate determining step. The slowest step in the reaction will help us to determine the overall speed of a reaction towards completion, and that we call it as our rate determining step. And the next important factor is of course the activation energy. That is the minimum quantity of external energy which is being required for the conversion of reactant into product or to produce an unstable intermediate. To produce an unstable intermediate, we call that as a activation energy. And basically the rate of reaction is inversely proportional to rate of reaction is inversely proportional to your activation energy, or we say it is being, so we could conclude that greater the value of activation energy will lead to lower rate of reaction, and that an increased influence of your temperature will of course make change on the rate constant. So it is going to be rate is inversely proportional to our activation energy. And when we learn activation energy, the most important formula which we use is our Arrhenius equation. And the formula which is used or which we are using in order to calculate the activation energy with respect to, or you can say it will justify the effect of temperature on rate of the reaction. We call that as Arrhenius equation. And yes, the formula is K is equal to A e to the power of minus EA by RT. Here K is nothing but your rate constant, A is the frequency factor, EA is the activation energy, and of course R gas constant, and T that is temperature, and it should be in Kelvin. It should be in Kelvin. And the last concept of this chapter is collision theory. What we call it as collision theory. That is the, according to it, you can say collision theory, the molecules will collide with greater kinetic energy in order to bring about a chemical reaction. The molecules has to collide with great kinetic energy in order to bring about a chemical reaction, and the molecules of the reacting species will collide through the space in rectilinear motion. So we say that a rate of a chemical reaction is proportional to the number of your collision between the molecules of the reacting species. Between the molecules of the reacting species, it is a important concept. So when we say collision theory, and the most important part of this chapter, if we focus, it is our Arrhenius equation, rate expression, and rate law. As far as chemical kinetics is concerned, the most important part is Arrhenius equation, rate law, and the rate expressions. So based on the concept, this is what we are having for the chapter chemical kinetics, and based on our analysis or our understanding, let us try taking a test. So for taking test, if you go to chemistry, we are having chapter wise test available here. Here we are going to take a test from chemical kinetics, and here if we look at it, we are having each bubble represents a test, and the color, each color has its own identification. If the bubble is in green color, it means that the test is already taken. Blue indicates that it is yet to be taken, and R, it is for random test if you need any additional practice from the same chapter. So let us try taking the test. So here we are having, for the reaction A plus B, the rate of the reaction, rate of formation of C in terms of A. To focus, they have mentioned in terms of A. The rate of formation, we can express it in different format, but since the question specify that we need to give in terms of A, when we try to give in terms of A, for example, the given reaction is your A plus B, and that gives us C plus D. So when I try to write the equation, it can be of your dA by dt can be equal to minus of 1 by b, your d by dt is equal to, or in terms of, we can write it as in terms of your c, that is 1 by c of your d of c by dt. So in terms for same thing, we can write it as 1 by d of your d by dt. So the rate can be written in this 4 ways, but when we have to express the reaction rate of formation of C in terms of A. So when we try to say that is rate of C, that means it will become as dC by dt, and in forms of your A. So you will have as your 1 by A. So I can express it as minus of C by your A into dA by dt. We can express it as the same. Here also you will have 1 by A. So when we are expressing dC by dt in terms of A, we will get this equation as minus C by A dA by dt. So let us see which option, minus C by A dA by dt. Option D should be the right answer. Let us save that and go to next. In an experiment, reactant gives product. We observe that if we increase the reactant to twice, if we are increasing the reactant to twice, then the time taken in the concentration, of the reaction to drop to 1 by 2 of its value, and that is going reduced to 1 by 4, then what should be the order? So for example, if we say that our T half is actually directly proportional to your a to the power of 1 minus n. So when we say t half, it is going to be, or if we remove the proportionality constant, we can say p into a to the power of 1 minus a. But they have given 1/4. So 1/4 of your t half should become is equal to p into, and the reaction rate is doubled. So 2a to the power of 1 minus n. So we can say 4 is equal to 1 by 2 to the power of your 1 minus n. 1 by 2 to the power of 1 minus n. So when I say 1 by 2 and then 1 minus n. So you could say just 2 square is equal to 2 to the power of n minus 1, or n minus 1 will become equal to 2, and so you can say n is equal to 3. So this should be our order. N is equal to 3. So D option is right. Let us save that and go to next. The same format, just we need to express it in the other way. For example, they have given T1 by 4 can be taken as the time taken for the concentration of the reactant, and it has to drop to 3 by 4. So when we say 3 by 4, simple, you can apply, and the rate constant to focus, they have given you that it is a first order reaction, then we have to find T1 by 4. So T1 by 4, the expression can be written as, we know T half is equal to your, for first order 2.303, T 1 by 4 we need. So 2.303 by k log of a by n, a minus 1. So 1 by 1 minus 1 by 4. So when we are saying, it should become as 0.29 by your k. Your t form can be represented. So 0.29 by k, our option B should be the right answer. Let us save that. A reaction was found to be a second order. A reaction was found to be a second order with respect to our ICl, and first order with respect to H2. Now we have to calculate the overall rate of the reaction. So for example, here we are saying, let us write down the reaction. H2 plus 2ICl will give us I2 plus 2HCl. So when we write the rate R, it becomes as your K into ICl, and do focus in the question, they have given it as second, and H2, there is no value here, so it remains as power 1. If you sum up the order, that is order of a reaction is your power. Order of a reaction says that with respect to given substance, it is index or exponent to which its concentration terms is raised. Hence, we say that we have to add up those two values. That is your 2 plus 1, it should be 3. Hence, our order of the reaction is, overall order is 3. Let us save that and go to next. Consider the following reaction A plus 3B. At some point in the reaction, B value is this, and 13.20 minutes later, B value changes to this. So based on the given data, we have to calculate the average rate of the reaction. We have to calculate the average rate of the reaction. So the basic average rate, when we try to calculate, we know that rate with respect to that equation, it will become as, rate can be expressed in different forms, but here since you are having change in concentration of B, changes in concentration of B, let us write the rate of the equation in form of R B. So rate of B will become as minus 1 by 3 delta of B by delta T. Hence delta B, two values they have given us, that is 0.9746 m minus 0.9986 m divided by 13.2 into your 60 seconds. So So when you solve this, you will get a value as 1.010 into 10 to the power of minus 5 moles per second. So it's a simple question. The option is 1.010 into 10 to the power of minus 5. Option A should be the right answer. Let us save that and go to next. For a chemical reaction, they have given us the rate constant. For a chemical reaction, the rate constant is given. We have to calculate the order of the reaction. So we should always see that based on K value, how we can calculate the order of a reaction. So of course, the unit of the rate constant depends on the global order of your reaction. So if the concentration is being measured in units of moles per liter, then for a zero order reaction, the rate coefficient unit. So based on the value of your unit, you can decide the order of the reaction. So which are the same units, that is actually the rate coefficient. Hence you can say that it should be a zero order reaction. Let us save that and go to gaseous phase decomposition of your N2O is given below. That is step 1, and we have to find out what is the reaction intermediate. So it's very simple to say that the O atom is an intermediate because that is only being consumed, or because it is formed and then consumed during the course of the reaction. It is formed here and then it is being used. So you can say that O is our intermediate or the reaction intermediate. Hence option D should be the right answer. Let us save that and go to next. They have given us a reaction, following reaction and its intermediate steps. Calculate the relation between the rate of the reaction of your resultant reaction and rate of the reaction of the intermediate step. Two different values we have to relate it. For the given value, if we say, if we are determining the rate, for example, if we are saying a rapid equilibrium will be established in your first step and the reaction intermediate. So we can say that N2O2 is basically slowly consumed in the second rate, that is your determining step. And the rate law, when we say, so when we try to write the rate equation based on our step 2 rate equation, so we say N2O2 plus O2 K3 is going to give you 2NO2. So when you write the rate can be written for this as rate of the reaction is equal to K3 into your N2O2 and your O2. So the rate law cannot include a reaction as intermediate. That means N2O2 we have to eliminate. And in the first step, your reversible step will be established very quickly. Therefore, you can conclude that the rate of your forward reaction is going to be your rate equal to your reverse reaction. So simple, it would be that if you are considering the overall reaction, the rate of the reaction, you can write it as K into your NO2 into O2. And when we try to compare these two, or when you substitute the value of your rate law, for example, if I say K1 into your NO square is equal to K2 into your N2O2, or we can say it as simple N2O2, we can say it as your K1 by K2 into our NO the whole square. So when we try to substitute here in place of N2O2, you will get it as K3 into your K1 by K2 into your NO, and then of course we are having O2. So let us mark this as your 1 and if we consider the overall reaction, that is your 2NO plus O2 is going to give you K2NO2. And for this, if you write the rate of the reaction, we can say it as K into your NO2 and your O2. Look at these two equations when we compare. Can we say that your K will be equal to your K1, K3 divided by your K2. So this is the relation. Let us see. K is equal to K1, K3 by K2. Hence our option A should be the right answer. Let us save that and go to next. What is the order of a reaction of an artificial radioactive decay? For an artificial radioactive decay, it is always a first order reaction because the decay rate is going to be dependent upon the number of radioactive atoms. So we can say that radioactive decay is a first order reaction process, because according to us, if the rate of a reaction is going to depend upon one concentration or concentration of one of the reactant, then we say that it is a first order reaction. Hence our option should be B. Let us save that and go to next. What is the half-life of a reaction with the values they have provided us? That is A naught they have given and D naught they have given. We have to calculate the half-life of a reaction. So when we try to solve this, they have given us your A naught to be equal to 109, B naught to be equal to 1m, and K it is equal to 45. So when we look at this, we say that your A naught value is greater than B naught. That means you can say that it is a pseudo first order reaction, and when we try to multiply with K value, that is A naught into K, it will help us to find out your K value. So we can say 109 into your 45, which will approximately be equal to 490. And they have asked us in the question to calculate the half-life of a reaction. And we know the formula that half-life of a pseudo first order reaction will be ln of your 0.5 divided by your K. That is your, so we are having 0.5 ln value divided by your 490. Should be minus. So when you solve this, you will get the value to be equal to 1.41 into 10 to the power of minus 4 seconds. Let us check in the option. 1.41 into 10 to the power of minus 4 seconds. Option A is the right. Let us save that and go to next. Given a general reaction and the instantaneous rate of a reaction, we have to find out the instantaneous rate of a reaction. So it is a simple question where you are just going to write the rate of a reaction in different reactant product, that is based on your both the reactant and based on the both the product. So of course we can say that it is going to become minus 1 by 5 dx by dt, and in this minus 1 by 2 d by y dt, and this is plus dw by dt equal to 1 by 3 dz by dt. So of course our option should be C. It is a very simple question. So let us save that and go to next. Your first order reaction is represented by which of the graph? So they have given us the graph and we have to tell for first order reaction. When we talk about a first order reaction, it is T half is equal to your ln 2 by K, and T half is always independent of the initial concentration. T half is always independent of the initial concentration. Hence the graph C should be the right graph. So let us mark that and go to next. The initial rate of a zero order reaction of the gaseous A and B is 10 to the power of minus 3 mole second, and if the initial concentration of A is this, we have to calculate for after 2 seconds. So when we say in that format, we know that concentration of your A at your time t will be equal to your concentration A naught minus your Kt. All the values are there with us. We need to just substitute it. And this is 2 seconds. So when you solve this, you'll get it as 0.008. And we have to calculate for your B at time t. So it is 4 into your 0.002. So which option it satisfies? 0.008. So let us save that and go to next. The rate constant for a first order reaction is 2. What will be the concentration of A for the reaction? It's once again a simple application that they have given us the first order. So we know the formula for a first order, that it is K is equal to your 1 by T ln of your A naught by your AT. So simple, we can say this as ln of your 1 by your AT. If I take reciprocal, your AT becomes to be A to the T will become just a e to the power of minus 2. So it's your option e to the power of minus 2m. E to the power of minus 2m we do not have. That means this should be the answer C. Let us save that and go to next. For reaction A to B, what is the time taken for which AT will be equal to 1m, and they have given us the value of K and A naught. Once again, it's also the same formula that I need to calculate my T. When I calculate T, T is equal to your 1 by K ln of A naught by your AT for a first order reaction. All the values are available with us, 1 by 2 ln of 10 by 1. So we could say it is just 2.303 divided by 2. Let us see that option B. Save and go to next. So we have completed all the 15 questions. Let us click end test and see. So here we have done all the 15 questions to be right, but in case if we are wrong anywhere, the color of the question will be red in color, and if you leave any question unanswered, it will be orange. And suppose if we are gone wrong anywhere, or we need to know any explanation for the question, to click on the question, it will give you the right answer with the explanation of that particular answer. How we have reached to that particular answer. And that is all, students, we have for chemical kinetics. And if you have any question from the chapter, please, you can post your question with the help of ask feature, which is available in play6.com. And also you can reach out to us with the help of Telegram chat application. And in case if you need any additional help from the tutors for any subject, do reach out to Play6 management. Thank you for the day. We'll catch you up tomorrow once again with a new chapter.